Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Moggycraft Season 2, and at the time of recording it is the 31st of December, so Happy New Year to all of you, because of course this episode goes out after the New Year has begun. So I hope you all will have an amazing 2026. Now, if you hear fireworks in the background, yeah, that's not too surprising because it is the Netherlands here after all. But I do want to have some fireworks going on the server as well, especially because here at least it won't scare my dogs. And for that I have rigged this button to give me some beautiful fireworks show. What could possibly go wrong lighting it up inside, huh? Well, let's just press it and... oh, well, apparently it's a little bit shaking, but... okay, anyway. It's still going? I know there's a lot of fireworks in here, but... well... yeah, this happens if you're not careful with fireworks, I guess. Let this be a lesson to each and every one of you: don't light fireworks in your house. Of course, I would never actually be this reckless with my base on Moggycraft, so I made it back above the world, and that's what you just saw. Don't worry, this is all still here, but I do want to get rid of it. Not with explosions and fireworks and fire like a real Dutch person. No, I want to just get rid of it with probably my axe and hoe. Where's my hoe? There she is. I mean, it. Hehe. And yes, we will have to fill a couple of holes back up, but that shouldn't be an issue. And look at that. It's already looking less Christmassy. But I think a good starting point would be this tree and turning it back into the fountain it once was. And what I'll do, just in case I want to do this again next year with this base, if this season is still going on next year, is just put everything in here. That way, when I do want to rebuild this, I have everything in this shulker box, and I don't need to look for it again. But as you can see, the fountain is slowly coming back. Now, the most annoying part about this is these heads. These mini blocks, because they take a little bit to mine. It honestly is not an issue for me to just quickly mine these up, because there are not all that many, and I can just grab them and use them again next year. Now, one thing I will need to do is also put back the water sources here and here. I'm pretty sure this right here is like the easiest to remove, because I just have to make sure that I get the candles and the rest just drops down. Now, however, I do need to collect all these items, and as you'll notice, it is rather dark in here now. Yes, even without those little candles, it does get pretty dark. Like, they don't do much, but they do enough that it doesn't get dark in here. And now I will also need to make sure to put back those lanterns and the light sources behind the trapdoors over there. Here we go. Let's place in some lanterns. And I think what I'll do is also use these lanterns behind these trapdoors. Let's just scaffold up. Boom. Just placing back these stairs, because of course the candy canes had to go in place over here. Now that's fixed, and what we can do is quickly go to the enchanting setup, and let's use this anvil to rename the shulker box to the Christmas box. There we go. And of course, there's only one place where you can store the Christmas stuff, of course, throughout the year before you put it back up with Christmas. And I think we all know where that is. That would be the attic. So seeing as I guess this would be considered our attic, Boom. It's gonna be there. I'll only grab it once I want to decorate this place with Christmas stuff again. Actually, I think it's a bit too obvious that this is the Christmas stuff. Alright, this is a lot more realistic for an attic. Now we actually need to look in every single shulker box to see if it happens to be our Christmas decorating box, and of course it is always going to be the last box that you look into. Yep, okay, that's a lot better. So for those of you who watched the previous episode, this place should look very familiar because it is where we worked. And in that episode I also said that I kind of want to maybe decorate this portal, and I have already tried doing that. So this is actually my second take of doing this. And I think what I'll do first is actually move the portal a bit back, or maybe even start on the building itself and only after I'm done with the building put the portal in place, because it was pretty tricky to build this house up, and yeah, it didn't go so well. So it's more likely that the portal is going to be like over here. Yeah, probably. And the house can go kind of against the wall, I think. So let's just do a quick outline of where the house is going to be. Alright. Yeah, that doesn't look like anything special, but it is where it's most likely going to end up. There we go. The sand has been placed. I guess put in the walls, maybe? It is going to be a fairly simple and small house, I guess, because I am not giving myself all that much space. And I am just going to use a temporary block over here because I want to move this. Alright. And I guess I could do something like this. This is what I tend to do with a lot of buildings. But it does always look pretty good, I have to admit. Alright, what do we think of this? Now, of course, there's... Da-da-da-da-da-da-da, thunder. Of course, there's no details yet, like a door or anything, but I have some bamboo stuff that I think could look good on this. Let's just quickly craft a door, and I always forget that these actually don't give that much, so we need to be careful with our resources here. And I do want to put it like this, just in case a zombie shows up. Of course, hopefully there's enough light around here. But of course, zombified piglins could also come through the portal and break the door, which is not what we want, of course. Now, there is something I want to try with this roof, and that is to have this block, the resin, maybe one higher. So I want to try having a resin roof, and I am doing this format over here, and I'm hoping I'm able to get to over here, which it does look like, but I might have to go just one more. Yeah, it will reach the ceiling, which, yeah, it's only gonna be an issue here, assuming I keep that. Because of course, I could very easily just say, okay, I'm not going to use that. That was a very weird sounding lightning strike. And honestly, it sounds like there's way more going on than just a bit of lightning and thunder. I probably should check that out in just a moment. Okay, what's going on here? Is there something more than just thunder? Like maybe skeleton horse trap anywhere? Nope, not seeing anything going on. So I guess it's just a very heavy storm. But of course, now that I'm actually looking for the lightning and stuff, it's just not doing anything. Very typical. Yeah, okay. I don't like this. I don't like how when you come through the portal, you just don't see this place immediately. So, while I have been designing this, for the second time now, I am going to tear it down. And while it may sound like I haven't made any progress, which, I mean, technically true, I have figured out kind of what I want and what I don't want from this build. I do want it to look a little bit like a beach house with a certain color palette, as you've seen me kind of attempt to do. But most importantly, I just want to use the portal itself. So I think what I'll do is remove these bits over here. Okay, well, I didn't mean it like this, but let me just quickly grab this stuff that fell down here. So I'll probably still have this going on here, but this is just something I will need to decorate itself and not maybe turn into an actual house. In addition to that, I really should also do the back over here, but instead of doing sandstone, I could also use the pale logs. Well, that's the one that I'm not getting back, unfortunately. Alright, it doesn't really matter if it's pale logs or sandstone. It looks good like this. And I think what I'll do is just put this over here. Okay. Temporary blocks over here real quick so I can put this in. Yes. Already I think it's starting to look a bit nicer than it would have otherwise if I had put a house here. What if I use these over here? Okay. And then use the bamboo trapdoors on top. The thunder is still going very strong, as you can hear. Alright, having something like this will look pretty good. Okay. And that means I can now start working on a bit of a roof. And if I put these in here, maybe. Let's see how that looks like from the front. Okay, that actually looks pretty decent. Now, I could actually remove these, I think. Let's see. I don't know, I kinda do like them here. Let's just put them back in place. Alright. Next, we need to put a roof on it. And that is still going to be these resin stairs. And I do need to make sure that nothing can actually spawn there. So, do I still have one of these buttons that I could spare? I mean, there's plenty of buttons. I just know that I'm not going to be able to use all of them. I guess I'll just use a bamboo button. Let's also make sure that I have something to get out of here. So this is how tall the house is going to be, I guess. And yeah, this looks weird because it's still going from there, but if we just put these in place, then we can actually work on a better looking roof. Okay, this is starting to look fine, but I think what I'll do is also add this in here. Okay. Let's see how that looks from a bit further back. Okay, that looks quite nice. Alright, so now what I need is just the actual bricks and to complete this roof. Alright, I would say this looks pretty good. Now, one thing I could consider adding is flowers over here. Cannot put them over here unless I move this and put them like so. Yeah, that could actually work too. Let me remove these two, and what I'll probably do is put some flowers there. I guess that could look really nice. I'm just not sure what kind of flowers. You know, flowers are not really that much of a beach thing. You know, for example, rose bushes, they would probably look nice, but I am not sure if that would fit very well. Then again, they could be placed by man, so I could technically justify putting anything there. So let's see. We'll replace the sand with moss blocks here. And then we can very easily put some flowers there. Maybe rose bush here and here. I have two left, so we'll just put those in the corners. And we still have these flowers as well. We can put one over here and one over here. Have a nice little variety of different flowers, and I would say that looks very nice. What I can also do is put some vines in a couple of places. And I do have a couple of leaf blocks that I want to use as well. So what I can do is, let's see where I'm going to put it exactly. I could put it over here. Oh, wait. There's a big hole over here. I should fix that. Alright, so I've added a couple of leaves and I'm putting the vine over there so it can go down as well. And I have to say, this house actually looks very cute. I'd almost recreate this in Season 3 and just say it's my base. Like, wow. No, Season 3 is not planned. Now those are just two small chores that I wanted to tick off the list before I share with you what my plan is for this year. For this year, I want to finish this base. Yes, this base is pretty big and it's going to take a lot of work and time. But I know I can do it. I just need a lot of mud bricks and I am sure I can find a way to farm the resources for all of that. Another thing I want to finish is at least the gameplay aspect of Moggy Dungeon over there. And as you may expect, that's not all of course, because in addition to finishing this base, we still have quite a few farms to go. And because I just said farm, let's actually take a quick look at the farming hole over here. And I think most of the farms that I wanted to build here are already in. But there are still a lot of farms that I haven't built. And I'm not sure if I'm going to build all of these. I don't think I'll be building a trident and copper farm, for example. Netherwort farm, maybe, I don't know. Wait, what's the other? Raid farm. Yeah, those are tough nowadays. Of course, these are just the big plans. There are gonna be smaller things for me to do, more mini games, more updates to explore, and hopefully we will play a lot more with the others again. But of course, that's not up to me, that's up to them. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode, and if you did, then you know what to do. Well, see you guys next time. Bye bye.